Hello stamping friends. I've got a nice peaceful card for you today. I created this background for these dies that I used. The dies are the Grove dies from Stampin' Up, and there's some great pieces to this. Like this here is this whole tree section. So you just die cut that out of black and you have your great silhouette. Now, you can get this bundled up with a stamp set that it coordinates with, and it's the Grassy Grove stamp set. I didn't use the stamp set for this project, only the dies. And so we're gonna get going. I started this project and I just wanted a nice, bright, early morning, like sunrise coming up. And so I put that in on a white panel, and I'm gonna show you just what I did. So we're going to go step by step through this project. You can find all the dimensions for these panels down below this video. Just click show more and you'll see them down there, along with all the product links that will take you directly to my online store where you can shop 24/7. We're going to start with a basic white panel that's 3 3/8 by 4 7/8. So we're going to start with our crushed curry ink and a blending brush. I'm doing this all with blending brushes. So we're gonna blend over the bottom, I'm gonna say 1/3 of this panel. And if your ink looks kind of dark, don't worry about that. The ink will dry at least 2 shades lighter. So it's better to go a little darker than it is to go too light. Otherwise you just lose all your color there. So that is our crushed curry. And next I want to put in some soft suede at the bottom. Let me find my brown brush here. So I have soft suede, and I'm going to put some soft suede at the like half of this crushed curry section at the bottom. I'm going to have soft suede to get a little brown going in the scene. Just make sure you don't cover up all that great crushed curry there. See how bright that makes that crushed curry when you put that dark at the bottom? That's exactly what we wanted it to look like. Okay, we're going to go to Balmy Blue next. And when I put my Balmy Blue at the top here, I don't want to come down into that yellow. I'll go to meet it. Otherwise you'll have this green section in there, and I don't think we want that in our sky. So we'll just put our Balmy Blue up to that crushed curry part, because you know blue and yellow make green, and I don't think we want green in our sky. So just try to come up and meet it and not go into it, because it will quickly turn on you. Okay, there's Balmy Blue. We're getting that sunrise look going here. So next I'm going to get a little darker with our blue, and we're going to go to Pacific Point. And this will give us a little bit of shaded look, like up into our leaf part of our trees. So we're going to do the top of this panel with Pacific Point, not covering all that Balmy Blue. Now you like to use like a circular motion, so I'm not getting like a straight line across here. And you can leave some areas to where it goes up and down. And that gives you a cloudy look there in your sky. Don't be afraid to put some color on here too. Here we go. So that is our whole background. So what I'm going to do next is, we have this die cut from that Grove die set, and I die cut it out of basic black, and I used a 3.5 by 5 piece of basic black to die cut it out of, and that's just a little bit bigger than our main panel here, because you don't want it just the same size, you want it just a hair littler so that your panel doesn't stick out anywhere when you put this over it. And look how pretty that is already. Just that quick. I just love this die. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this on. I'm going to use multi-purpose glue for this. You use whatever you would like, and put a little glue around the outside edge here. And maybe up the tree trunk of a couple of these, just to attach it to the cardstock a bit in the middle. Here we go. Add this on. Get straight on there. Perfect. There we are. Okay, we need a deer. Now, I didn't die cut the deer. I die cut it out of a piece of scrap paper, and I'm actually going to stencil it on. Now, when you stencil it on, you could have your deer facing this way, or you can do it this way. I mean, it could look both ways. And you could use this to have two deer in your scene facing each other. So it's a fun way to use these dies. So I just die cut that particular deer from the Grove set just out of scrap paper. So I'm gonna put it where I want it in my scene, and I want his feet down in the, want her feet, she doesn't have antlers, I want her feet down in this ground cover here. Kind of looks like bushes. So I just don't want the deer levitating. I want to make sure I've got her grounded. So I have her there, and I'm going to use a blending brush and black ink to put it on. This is a fun way to use your dies, is to use them to make silhouettes on your scene. So just hold it firmly and rub it on there. Just make sure you don't go off the cardstock here. Don't want any stray ink on your panel. So I have that part. I'm going to ink up again. And if you happen to move your little mask here, you can always line it right back up. And there's our deer in the scene. Now you could have used the die cut too, but I kind of wanted my deer to be in the scene and not like on top of. So that's why I did it that way. But you do it however you want for your project, right? Okay, so now that's done. Look how quick that card was, and it's just so pretty. So we're going to go ahead and start putting it together. I'm going to flip my inky paper over here. That way I don't have any accidents. And I'm going to put this on a basic white panel that is 3 5/8 by 5 1/8. So it's 1/8 larger than our black die cut there. And it just trims it out just a little bit, just to draw your eye into the scene. So I'm going to add that on, center it up, there we go. And I have a Balmy Blue card base here. It's 5.5 by 8.5, and I folded it so I have a quarter card. And inside the quarter card I have a basic white panel that's 4 by 5.25, and on the outside I have a basic black panel that is 4 by 5.25. And all we have to do is adhere our panel on here. Now I have it popped up. You could adhere it directly to, but I'm going to pop this up at both Stampin' Dimensionals. And this is a good time to get those black dimensionals out. Anytime you're going up against black cardstock, it's nice to use those black Stampin' Dimensionals so you don't have to worry about your dimensionals being seen from the side of the card, because they will show up and like a sore thumb sticking out there. Okay, so I have a few here. Okay, I have the dimensional backings all taken off. I'm just going to center this up here. And I don't press it down till I give it a good look. Sky looks, it just pops with all that silhouettes there. And one more thing before we finish this card up. I'm going to go ahead and put some highlights in. So I put the highlights on this one already. This is my original. And I'm going to show you where I put them at. So I'm going to bring you down a little closer here. And I kind of outline the deer a little bit right on the edge of the deer. I just add a little white along the ear, top of the nose, along the back. Just giving them a little highlight down the tail. You can put it down the front of the legs. Just very lightly with a white gel pen, or if you have a white chalk marker, you can do this also. Just do it very lightly. And if you find you've gotten too thick with your white line, just take a black marker and go over it, and you can have another try at it, or just make your line thinner by using a black marker. So for along the bottom, I'm just going to put some dots in these bushes here, just to make them look kind of frilly. And I'm doing this randomly. I'm not trying to make a pattern of any sorts. And then along the trees, I'm going to, on the right side of the card, I'm going to put a highlight down the left side of the tree trunks. And you can kind of just barely touch it and kind of scratch it in even to give it some texture if you want, or just do a straight line. It's fine, whatever you're comfortable with. Okay, and that was the tree trunks on the right side. Now on the left side, the tree trunks, I'm going to put it on the right side. I'm making it look like our light is coming like through the center here. So right side on the left side, left side on the right side. Okay, and then I'm just going to add some just to a few of the leaves. You don't have to get crazy with this. I'm keeping it more towards the bottom leaves, like it's shining through the trees. Kind of lighten up these bottom leaves a bit. I'm making squiggly lines on the edges of some of these leaves just to get a little highlight going. You can make them dots, little squiggles, just to add some highlight. There we go. And that was all with white gel pen. And there you have it. There's our card for today. I hope you enjoyed this project and that you're so inspired to just get inky. So just get those inks out and try something new. Thank you for joining me today. Bye.